least 6 Americans have been exposed to the Ebola virus during a deadly outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, sources have told CBS News, the BBC's US partner. The World Health Organization, WHO, has declared the outbreak as an international emergency, with the DR Congo's health ministry reporting around 350 suspected cases and 91 deaths.
The bodies of 4 Italian divers who went missing during a scuba diving accident in the Maldives last week have been found. Italian and Maldivian officials have confirmed to the BBC one body belonging to a 5th member of the group had already been located after the incident on Thursday.
Yasmin Ibrahim El-Zanati, a lawyer from Egypt, was working as a cultural mediator on a rescue ship a week ago when shots were fired right next to me as the vessel sailed in international waters off Libya. Everyone on board was terrified, she told Al Jazeera. They were shaking. They had only just come out of a situation in Libya. It was really, really bad. Russian drones have hit 2 ships in the Black Sea approaching ports in Ukraine's Odessa region, including a Chinese-owned cargo vessel, one day before Russian President Vladimir Putin heads to Beijing to meet Xi Jinping. Ukraine's Seaports Authority said the strikes hit 2 civilian vessels on Monday, one under a Marshall Islands flag and the other under Guinea-Bissau's flag, both of which were heading to ports in the region.
Imagine you're riding a motorcycle at 160 kilometers per hour when an arrow appears, floating on the road ahead, telling you exactly where to turn. No phone, no dashboard, just your helmet and a lens the size of a thumbnail. This is not a concept video. It's heading to European roads as early as this year, and it's one early glimpse of where smart glasses are heading.
Pakistani Tekken star Arslan Ash has qualified for the Esports World Cup 2026 after finishing 3rd at Road to EWC DreamHack Atlanta. The Tekken 8 qualifier took place during DreamHack Atlanta from May 15 to 17 and offered 3 qualification spots for the Esports World Cup 2026. Arslan Ash earned one of those spots alongside Mulgold and Kaisuke.
Federal Minister for Maritime Affairs, Mohammed Junaid Anwar Chaudhry, on Monday said more than 58,000 kilograms of floating waste had been removed from Karachi harbour during an intensified clean-up campaign launched under the Cleaner Port, Healthier Marine Ecosystem initiative. He said the campaign was launched to curb marine pollution, protect coastal biodiversity and promote a blue circular economy.
The Pakistan Meteorological Department, PMD, has forecast dust thunderstorms and rain with occasional gaps in several upper parts of the country from the night of May 18 to May 23, bringing temporary relief from the ongoing intense heat wave. According to the PMD, a westerly weather system is expected to enter northwestern regions of Pakistan on May 18 night and remain active in upper areas until May 23.
The All Pakistan Private Schools Association, APSA, has decided to challenge the Punjab government's decision to announce early summer vacations for schools in court. An emergency meeting of the association was held in Islamabad's F8 sector, where members raised serious concerns over the decision. Higher Education Commission, HATCHI, through its Education Testing Council, ETC, has opened registration for the Higher Education Aptitude Test, HAT, for students seeking admission to MS and MPhil programs in Pakistani university. According to the announcement, the test is also for candidates applying for HE-sponsored local and international scholarships. HEC said students who are planning to apply or have already applied for MS and MPhil. Admissions at universities accepting HAT scores are eligible to register for the test.
Islamabad, the Federal Shariat Court, FSC, on Monday declared the decriminalisation of suicide attempts un-Islamic and struck down the 2022 legislation through which it had been omitted from the Pakistan Penal Code. Three-member bench comprising Chief Justice Iqbal Hamidur Rahman, Justice Syed Muhammad Anwar and Justice Amir Khan announced the reserved verdict on two separate petitions challenging the amendments introduced through the Criminal Laws Amendment Act 2022.
federal government has allowed temporary exemption of shops, markets and eateries from early closure timing of 8 p.m. State broadcaster PTV News reported, citing a notification on Monday. The Cabinet Division notification dated May 18 states that Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has given the approval to exempt with immediate effect until May 31 several entities from the closure timings specified in an April 6 notification.
Social media is now working as a high-speed pipeline to move money comfortably outside the perimeter of financial regulations. On TikTok and other apps, likes, gifts and live stream donations are converted into platform-specific digital credits. A follower buys virtual currency with their debit card, mobile wallet or bank account, then sends gifts to the TikToker or creator during live streams or content interactions. The app takes a commission and sends the remaining amount to the TikToker's internal wallet. Once you earn a minimum amount or cross a threshold, you can withdraw or transfer earnings through payment processors, digital wallets, or linked bank accounts into your local currency. In practice, a transaction that begins as a seemingly harmless gift or online appreciation can pass through multiple layers: virtual tokens, platform wallets, payment intermediaries, and cross-border processors before emerging as legitimate funds in a bank account. What appears on the surface as digital admiration may, in reality, become part of a complex financial pathway operating beyond the visibility of conventional oversight mechanisms.
Thousands of Kenyan commuters have been stranded and businesses paralyzed as public transport operators went on a nationwide strike to protest against recent increases in the cost of fuel. Key roads in the capital Nairobi remained largely empty, forcing some commuters to walk to work, with other parts of the country also affected by the transport crisis. Businesses in parts of Nairobi remained shut and schools asked students to stay at home.
Pro-Palestinian activists say Israeli forces are intercepting a flotilla aid for Gaza in international waters west of Cyprus. The global Sumud flotilla, GSF, said its fleet was being boarded in what it called an illegal act of piracy, about 250 nautical miles, 460 kilometres, from Gaza, which is under an Israeli maritime blockade. Its video stream showed armed commandos climbing onto several boats.
The United States military's Africa Command, AFRICOM, says it has carried out additional airstrikes against ISIS, fighters in northeastern Nigeria, in coordination with the Nigerian government. The additional kinetic strikes happened on Sunday. AFRICOM said in a statement on Monday, adding that no US or Nigerian forces were harmed during the strikes.
A cruise ship hit by a deadly hantavirus outbreak has docked in the Netherlands for disinfection. The MV Hondius was carrying 25 crew members and 2 medical personnel as it reached the Dutch port of Rotterdam on Monday, after all the passengers disembarked at other locations. According to the ship operator Oceanwide Expeditions, no one on board is experiencing any symptoms.
The main route of the Rawalpindi Ring Road is likely to be opened for traffic by mid-June, with officials saying around 85% of work on the corridor has already been completed. According to project details, construction on the 38 6-kilometre route has reached an advanced stage and includes progress on key interchanges at Banff, Chakbeli Khan Road, Adiala and Chakri. Authorities have finalised detailed arrangements to ensure cleanliness, manage cattle markets and maintain uninterrupted civic services during Eid al-Adha. The decisions were made during a meeting chaired by Regional Municipal Officer Sajjad Haider and Director General of the Capital Metropolitan Government Kadir Nasir.
Senior gastroenterologists have warned that around half of adult Pakistanis may be suffering from fatty liver disease because of obesity, junk food consumption, sedentary lifestyles, and physical inactivity. Speaking at the 8th Annual Conference of the Pakistan GI and Liver Disease Society, experts said the disease has reached epidemic levels in the country and is now increasingly affecting children. Afame can season affecting children and lean individuals as well. The Federal Shariat Court, FSC, on Monday restored Section 325 of the Pakistan Penal Code PPC 1860, effectively recriminalizing suicide attempts in Pakistan. In its ruling, the court declared the criminal laws, Amendment Act 2022, un-Islamic and struck down the legal amendment that had removed punishment for attempted suicide.
PC1, worth as $4.8 billion for the Thalian interchange of the Rawalpindi Ring Road project, has been approved by the relevant authority. The interchange is part of the wider Rawalpindi Ring Road scheme, whose overall cost, including the Thalian component, is estimated at $51.4 billion. Islamabad. Jamaat-e-Islami Emir Hafiz Naim Rahman on Monday approached the Federal Constitutional Court, FCC, against the petroleum levy, arguing that the government had effectively granted itself unrestricted power to tax citizens through executive notifications without parliamentary oversight. The government had announced a petroleum and carbon levy on June 14, 2025, under an ironclad commitment with the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Last month, the government had cut the levy by Rs 80 cents amid the global oil crisis triggered by the Middle East crisis.
Israeli forces were intercepting a Gaza-bound aid flotilla on Monday after it set sail from Turkey last week, with organisers saying one of the vessels was stopped west of Cyprus. Military vessels are currently intercepting our fleet, and IDF forces are currently boarding the first of our boats in broad daylight, the global Sumud flotilla posted on X.
PPP stalwart and former Senate Chairman Raza Rabbani on Monday said that there was no need for a 28th constitutional amendment, saying that the Constitution could not bear the burden if it were to happen. In a statement, he said, "The ruling elite should realise that the Constitution 1973 cannot bear the burden of another amendment. There is no need for the 28th constitutional amendment."
When the wheels of Air Force One lifted up from Beijing on Friday, US President Trump was wrapping a three-day visit with many questions still outstanding about what exactly he and Chinese leader Xi Jinping had agreed to. Over the weekend, statements from both sides have started to demystify the outcomes of a meeting that was largely about resetting the tone between the world's top economies, a fractious stride after a fractious year that drove both to the edge of decoupling.
Israeli forces have begun intercepting vessels from a Gaza-bound aid flotilla, according to organisers and video footage from onboard the boats. 250 miles from Gaza in international waters, Israel is preparing to attack the global Sumud flotilla. Organisers said in a statement shared on social media on Monday, shortly before the interceptions began.
For decades, the Kamal Maula Mosque in Dar in central India's Madhya Pradesh state has been like a second home for 78-year-old Mohammad Rafiq. Rafiq has been the muezzin who calls Muslims to prayer at the mosque for 50 years. Before him, his grandfather Hafiz Naziruddin used to lead the prayers even before India gained independence from British colonial rule in 1947.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have gone on the road and played Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semi-finals like they'd been there before. That's because they had, and the experience paid off.
Brazilian forward Neymar has stirred up a storm with his recent on-field behaviour and comments as he looks to make a comeback to the national squad for the FIFA World Cup 2026. The 34-year-old has not represented his country since October 2023 and is in a race against time to prove his fitness before the tournament squad submission deadline.